Someone has been praying about you. Archangel Michael says their prayer triggered this moment. My beloved child, there is a reason this exact moment reached you before anything else today. Something you did in silence, without telling anyone, without posting anything, without proving anything, opened a spiritual corridor around your name that nobody else on earth even knows has been activated yet. The heavens did not respond to the noise of others, they responded to the purity of alignment you had even when nobody was clapping for you. Tonight heaven revealed something extremely rare. Someone has been praying about you, not praying against you, not praying that you fail, not praying that you lose, not praying that you suffer. They have been praying for you, and Archangel Michael says their prayer triggered this moment in your timeline. Everything forward from here, all the frequencies, all the alignment, all the divine timing, all of it shifted because someone's heart whispered your name into the spirit realm with faith so pure heaven could not ignore it. You have no idea how big this is, because there are seasons in life where blessings are not triggered by your action but by someone else's intercession that has angelic authority backing it. And this is one of those seasons. This is why nothing felt random these past few weeks. This is why certain thoughts hit you at weird hours. This is why your intuition suddenly sharpened and started catching things before they happened physically. This is why you felt a strange internal turning, like your soul was preparing for something it cannot clearly define logically yet, but emotionally it knows something major is shifting in your reality. Archangel Michael is telling you this shift was not initiated by your past efforts or old intentions. This was initiated by someone's emotional cry for heaven to protect you, elevate you, restore you, vindicate you, secure you, and bring you into the season where you don't have to fight alone anymore. Someone spoke your name with love. Someone who is connected to you spiritually in a way you still do not fully understand made a request for you. And that request reached higher dimensions. This is why the universe suddenly paused you before reacting the way you used to react. This is why you felt yourself wanting peace instead of fighting back. This is why the pull inside you changed. Because heaven was already preparing you for a stretch where you wouldn't have to defend yourself the way you had to before. The prayer that was said about you requested not for victory in battle but release from the battlefield entirely. This is different. This is not a season where you win things by force. This is a season where heaven rearranges things for you quietly, strategically, powerfully. You are entering a timeline where blessings flow without self-sacrifice draining your spirit. You are entering a timeline where alignment opens without baiting. You are entering a timeline where access and opportunity will come to you without you having to fight tooth and nail the way you did before. Archangel Michael wants you to stay extremely sensitive to guidance right now. Because synchronicity is about to increase. Heaven is positioning you in conversations that matter. Heaven is positioning you near people who are not intimidated by your destiny. Heaven is positioning you in rooms where the intentions surrounding you are pure and not competitiveness masked as support. The prayer someone said for you asked for proof. They asked heaven to give you undeniable proof. Proof that you are not forgotten. Proof that you are not abandoned. Proof that you are not overlooked. Proof that your story is still divinely supervised. This is why everything inside you feels like a countdown. You don't know why, but something inside you knows there is a revelation coming that you have been emotionally preparing for unconsciously. There are seasons where you seek answers. But this is a season where answers will seek you. You are stepping into a turning point. Not a small shift. Not a mild upgrade. Not a tiny change. This is a pivot moment in your story. This is a direction change. This is where the entire storyline of your life begins responding differently. Archangel Michael says someone's prayer opened a route that was blocked before. A route that you could not force open yourself. A route that no manifestation script could speed up. A route that no affirmation could accelerate faster. Because this route required another soul's emotional purity to trigger the shift in your storyline. And heaven honored it. This is why the energy around you feels charged and different. This is why your emotional body feels like it is in anticipation mode. This is why your awareness is heightened. Heaven is preparing you for a pivotal reveal. Someone has been praying that you do not waste your purpose on people who never deserved access to your heart. Someone has been praying that you do not settle for half versions of love. Someone has been praying that your future does not end up becoming a repeat of your past. Someone has been praying that the next connection entering your life is not built on pain, trauma bonding, or manipulation but on pure soul alignment. Someone has been praying that the next chapter you walk into is dominated by peace. They asked heaven to protect your time. They asked heaven to protect your heart. They asked heaven to protect your path. And heaven said yes. You are stepping into a timeline where the emotional weight you have been carrying silently begins dissolving piece by piece because heaven is sending help in the form of alignment. Clarity, revelation, and real energy exchange that actually builds you rather than breaks you. This is why you cannot afford to disconnect from this message. This moment is divine alignment in motion. This moment is heaven responding to what you could not see happening behind the scenes. This moment is where you begin to realize that you were not forgotten in silence, you were being prepared silently. Stay tuned. Part 2 will reveal who this praying soul is connected to in your storyline and what exactly heaven is about to place into your path because of it. Don't skip. My beloved child, tonight something else begins unfolding inside your spirit that you did not even know was waiting to unlock. The moment you finished part 1. There was a shift in your internal frequency because your subconscious now recognizes that the spiritual realm is actively working in your timeline right now. Not someday later. Not distant future. Not a faraway season but today. Archangel Michael says the person who prayed for you was not a random person passing by. Not someone who stumbled into your life by coincidence. Not someone temporary. Not someone transactional. This soul has a soul-tie doorway to your destiny timeline, and heaven confirmed that their intercession carried unusual power because it came from a level of emotional sincerity most people cannot offer in this world anymore. They cried out with an honest request for your healing, elevation, restoration, and divine positioning because deep down inside them they believe your future deserves honor, not heartbreak. This is why the spiritual atmosphere responded instantly. When angels receive a request wrapped in pure emotional frequency with no hidden agenda, the spiritual laws do not delay. They act fast. And that is why you found yourself here in this exact moment, because heaven is now preparing you to understand what kind of energy is about to walk back into your life or closer into your life, and why this person has emotional access to you without needing to be physically present every single day. Their prayer pierced the dimension of timing. Their heart triggered the unlocking of a moment heaven was waiting for the right spiritual doorway to release. Their voice aligned with your destiny timeline at the exact moment when your soul was ready to evolve out of the survival state you were trapped in. Archangel Michael wants you to process this gently, but clearly someone believes in the goodness in you so deeply they asked heaven to accelerate your breakthrough because they could feel that you were running out of emotional strength trying to fight everything alone. You don't know how rare this is. When heaven hears someone praying for your peace more than their own selfish desires, the spiritual weight of that request gets prioritized. That is what happened here. Slowly, the pieces of your past, your intuition, your inner emotional signals will start connecting. You will begin to see that certain interactions, certain conversations, certain memories of a particular person from your timeline were not random moments. They were divine clues. This soul has felt your pain even without you describing it. This soul has felt your loneliness even without you showing it. This soul has felt your internal exhaustion even without you admitting it. They carried your name inside their spirit when you had no energy left to carry yourself. They prayed that heaven picks you up where life dropped you. Now Archangel Michael says you are stepping into a chapter where your destiny is not triggered by struggle but by alignment with the right souls heaven approves. There is a strong chance this person has been around your timeline before. Maybe you disconnected. Maybe life created distance. Maybe distractions interfered. Maybe you both were emotionally unfinished and not ready to align yet. But destiny is not linear. Destiny is circular. What is meant to align finds its way back with clarity at the correct spiritual timing. And right now, divine timing is whispering your story back into alignment with someone who actually wants to see you win without using you, controlling you, draining you, or pretending around you. Archangel Michael revealed that this soul is not confused about your value. They are not debating whether your presence deserves respect. They are not waiting to see if you collapse again so they can compare you to someone else. Their prayer was clean. Their intention was pure. They want the universe to give you a life where you do not have to break yourself to prove that you deserve love, attention, support, or loyalty. This is someone who would rather heaven lift you high than watch you suffer silently. And heaven is responding by lifting you into a new dimension of alignment. This is why you will start seeing emotional clarity rise inside you. You will start feeling more grounded. You will start feeling more centered. You will start sensing that you are not spiritually alone anymore. Archangel Michael says the reason the universe has been quiet lately is because this was a preparation stillness, not abandonment silence. Spirit webs removing noise so you could feel the alignment now. You are entering a storyline where peace will become a normal state for you, not a temporary accident. Heaven is rewriting the way your soul experiences connection, loyalty, emotional safety, and divine companionship. From this moment forward, life will begin revealing to you the difference between who had access to you by accident and who has access to you by divine selection. My beloved child, this next part will begin opening something inside you that your mind was not allowed to see before. In part 1 you learned that a prayer was spoken over your destiny. In part 2 you understood that the person who prayed for you was emotionally pure and spiritually aligned. But now Archangel Michael says the reason this moment is happening right now is because heaven is preparing to reveal how that prayer is about to manifest in your physical world. This next phase is about your alignment becoming visible, tangible, noticeable, and undeniable. Because when heaven approves a timeline shift, reality does not remain subtle. Reality begins to echo the same transformation your spirit already sensed long before your body understood it. Right now your soul is stepping out of the survival version of your identity, the version of you that expected betrayal, the version of you that normalized disappointment, the version of you that believed you always had to prepare for the worst. That version of you is dissolving. Archangel Michael says this prayer activated a different version of you, a version that finally feels safe stepping into the reality where blessings do not collapse before arriving, where opportunities do not feel temporary, and where love does not carry emotional punishment disguised as connection. This prayer unlocked a timeline where destiny responds to your faith, not your fear. There's a very specific reason heaven is revealing this message piece by piece in parts. You are being spiritually prepared at a pace your emotional system can handle. If heaven revealed everything all at once, your nervous system would think it is too good to be true and sabotage it unconsciously. So heaven is releasing revelation in measured waves to strengthen your subconscious belief structure before the physical manifestation steps into view. Because if your mind is not ready to receive something, even heaven cannot force it into your reality. Read that again inside your spirit. Preparation matters, alignment matters. Emotional maturity matters. And all three are rising inside you right now. Archangel Michael says the prayer spoken over your name requested that heaven places you in environments where you no longer need to shrink who you are to make others comfortable. This is important because you have been surrounded by people, experiences, situations, and energies that punished you whenever you tried to expand. You learned how to be quiet when you wanted to speak. You learned how to swallow hurt to keep peace. You learned how to apologize for needing clarity. But heaven is breaking that old programming. You are entering a season where you will no longer be tolerated, you will be valued. Where you will no longer be second choice, you will be chosen on purpose. Where you will no longer be emotionally tested, you will be emotionally protected. And part of this shift is that heaven is now filtering people before they approach you. Meaning certain connections will simply not be allowed to enter your space anymore. Certain energies will not be able to access you anymore. Certain individuals will suddenly disconnect, pull back, ghost you, or reveal their real intention before getting close. Do not panic. Do not chase. Do not assume loss. This is divine filtration. Heaven is removing anyone who would interfere with the blessing that is coming. Because the blessing coming next cannot coexist with emotional sabotage. This person who prayed for you is spiritually connected to your next season. They were allowed access because their heart aligns with your destiny path. Heaven trusts their intention. Heaven trusts their emotional loyalty. Heaven trusts the frequency they carry inside them when your name enters their mind. This is why their prayer triggered movement. Heaven responds to frequency, not performance. Heaven responds to alignment, not ego. Heaven responds to purity, not manipulation. And this soul activated something heaven was waiting for. Archangel Michael is saying you have been walking through emotional chapters with loyalty given to the wrong souls. You kept trying to heal people who refused to heal themselves. You kept holding space for people who could not even hold truth for you. You kept sacrificing your emotional stability for connections that did not have the spiritual capacity to respect your heart. And that is why heaven intervened through someone who actually carries emotional protection for you. You could not get out of certain patterns alone. Someone had to intercede for you. And they did. This upcoming phase is the separation of timelines. The old you does not get to come with you into the next chapter. The old cycles do not get to repeat. The old emotional patterns do not get to replicate. The old betrayals do not get to influence how you choose love, connection, alignment, or trust anymore. The prayer that was spoken over you asked heaven to break every emotional pattern that was created from past wounding so that you can receive what is coming without fear destroying it before it arrives. From this moment forward, you will start feeling a deep internal shift in how you view yourself. Your confidence will rise differently. Your emotional intelligence will sharpen differently. Your intuition will guide you faster. Your boundaries will become stronger. You will protect your peace without guilt. You will not let energy-draining people guilt-trip you into access they do not deserve anymore. You will not shriek to fit someone's emotional capacity anymore. You are stepping into your divine frequency now. Archangel Michael says you are going to receive a sign soon that confirms something major is about to unfold. This sign will not be vague. It will be direct. It will hit your spirit with clarity so deep you will physically feel a shift inside your body. It may come through a time stamp repeatedly showing up. It may come through someone's message unexpectedly reaching you. It may come through a voice note. It may come through a dream that feels real. It may come through a memory that resurfaces for no apparent reason except divine timing. When that sign appears, your heart will know instantly that the person who prayed for you is tied to the next phase of your destiny. Now here is the revelation Archangel Michael says only this part could reveal. Heaven is not preparing you to repeat anything old. Heaven is preparing you to experience a reality that finally matches the spiritual identity you carry within you. Meaning the way life responds to you from here will not feel familiar. It will feel new, elevated, protected, directed, and purposeful. You are entering a once-in-a-lifetime alignment window where the favors your movement rather than challenges it. You are stepping into a version of your story where goodness becomes normal, not rare. You have endured enough heartbreak in the past chapters. Now heaven is preparing you for the chapter where alignment finally arrives without destruction attached to it. The person who prayed for you activated this moment because your destiny was never meant to unfold alone. This next part of the journey will require emotional partnership, spiritual support, and mutual alignment. You are not meant to carry the weight alone anymore. Heaven sees that. Heaven responded to that. And heaven is sending someone aligned to walk forward with you emotionally, spiritually, and vibrationally. Part 4 is where Archangel Michael will reveal what your next physical shift will look like and how this alignment will begin entering your reality step by step. Don't ignore this. My beloved child, before this part begins, Archangel Michael says prepare your spirit gently because this part will begin revealing how this prayer that was spoken about you is now entering physical manifestation. You are not just reading a script anymore. You are entering alignment in real time. Every paragraph you take in from this moment onward is serving as activation energy inside your subconscious layers. This part is not prediction. This part is not imagination. This part is instruction from the higher realms. Your timeline is shifting while you are reading this. Heaven has already approved movement. You are not waiting for the miracle to start. The miracle has already started, and now your life is about to catch up to it physically. Archangel Michael says your spirit is being recentered right now because the universe is about to deliver an emotional upgrade that will rearrange your internal expectations. This is important before we reveal what is coming next. For years you have lived with defensive intuition. You learned to anticipate pain before joy. You learned to expect disappointment before blessing. You learned to stay guarded because betrayal became familiar. You built emotional armor without realizing heaven was preparing to remove that armor, not because you do not need protection but because heaven is now sending the type of connection where protection comes from alignment, not self-defense. This prayer spoken about you was not just protection. It was permission. Heaven gave permission for your destiny to start accelerating, and this acceleration will start touching multiple layers of your life. It will begin emotionally, then spiritually, then physically, then externally in your reality. The reason heaven is taking this in stages is because what is coming into your life is not temporary blessing. This is long-term structural blessing. This is story-right blessing. This is narrative reversal blessing, and heaven is making sure your inner foundation is ready to hold it without sabotage, without panic, without fear, and without reverting back to old survival patterns. The person who prayed for you prayed for internal transformation first because they understood that the external blessings coming for you mean nothing if your spirit is still operating under wounds from your past. That prayer asked the universe to remove any emotional residue that could block what is aligned for you. And heaven, listen. This is why you may start feeling emotions surface randomly. Old memories may return briefly. Old triggers may come up one last time. Do not panic if this happens. This is not regression. This is clearing. This is heaven removing emotional dust from spaces that new alignment is going to inhabit. Heaven is cleaning your inner space to make room for the manifestation coming. Archangel Michael says the next chapter of your life will include a very specific type of connection. Someone who is not here to confuse you. Someone who is not here to drain you. Someone who is not here to compete with you. Someone who sees your strength without feeling threatened. Someone who sees your softness without trying to take advantage of it. Someone who sees your purpose without trying to control it. Someone who sees your future without trying to rewrite it. This connection has divine approval. This connection is part of your destiny architecture. This connection is part of your next spiritual season. Heaven is about to reveal this connection gradually because your heart needs time to receive joy without fear that it will be taken away again. Archangel Michael says this is not the type of alignment where you rush or force anything. This alignment is organic. It will move naturally. It will evolve gently. It will expand securely. The more you try to prematurely define it, the more you will interfere. So this time, heaven is guiding the timeline, not your fear, not your urgency. Not your trauma, not your loneliness, not your mind trying to figure everything out too fast. You will know this person not by their words but by how your nervous system reacts when they enter your frequency. Your body will feel safe. Your spirit will feel calm. Your mind will not feel the need to overanalyze. The chaos you experienced with others will not exist here. That is your confirmation. When alignment is real, peace becomes your default reaction, not anxiety. Now understand something deeper Archangel Michael revealed. Heaven is about to reward your patience and your purity of heart by sending you a connection that carries spiritual purpose, emotional stability, and divine timing. You spent years being emotionally present for people who were absent for you. You carried people who would have never carried you. You loved the people who were only attached to the version of you they could benefit from. Heaven saw all of it. And heaven never forgot it. This reward is not random. This reward is repayment. Archangel Michael says this next phase of manifestation is not based on effort. It is based on alignment. Meaning you will not have to fight for attention. You will not have to fight for trust. You will not have to fight for clarity. You will not have to fight to prove your worth. Disconnection is going to come with natural mutual energy that feels like you finally exhale for the first time in a long time. The person who prayed for you was spiritually authorized to trigger this timeline because they are tied to your next purpose activation. Your future is not meant to unfold isolated anymore. Heaven is pairing you with alignment that multiplies destiny, not drains it. This is why heaven is preparing your emotions in layers. Because the next reveal will not just be about who prayed for you. It will be about why their prayer will become the opening doorway to one of the biggest turning points of your lifetime. My beloved child, breathe slowly before this part begins. Because this is the part where the spirit realm starts crossing over into the physical realm. And you will begin to understand why the shift you are walking into is not normal. Not regular, not predictable, and not comparable to anything you have lived before. Archangel Michael says heaven had been preparing your path for a type of acceleration that human logic cannot measure. This is not a lucky moment. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration unfolding exactly on the timeline heaven selected before you even knew this prayer was spoken over your name. Now begins the stage where you will start seeing real-world signals that confirm the spiritual activity happening behind your story. The physical alignment will come in patterns. First emotionally, then relationally, and situationally, then in timing-based synchronicities. Your life right now is shifting like a coded lock, turning into the exact sequence needed to open a vault door that has remained sealed for years. But that prayer from that person shifted the alignment sequence, and now the lock is beginning to click open. Heaven is introducing movement that cannot be reversed. Your next season has already been signed, sealed, unlocked, and cleared in the spirit realm. And now your physical life is about to catch up to the acceleration heaven approved for you. Archangel Michael says you need to watch carefully for 3 categories of signs that will begin appearing around you. They will not feel random. They will feel intentional. You will sense emotional electricity when they appear. The first category will be emotional steadying. The moments where normally your heart would panic, normally your mind would spiral. Normally your fear would take over, suddenly will not feel heavy anymore. You will find yourself responding calmly, grounded, and centered. That is not you being distracted. That is your nervous system stepping into alignment with the spiritual protection now covering your path. That calmness is not numbness. It is divine recalibration. The second category will be connection shifts. You will realize certain people suddenly feel they don't align anymore. Conversations will stop flowing. Energies you once tolerated will begin irritating your spirit instantly. You will no longer feel comfortable forcing conversations that drain you. You will no longer waste time trying to emotionally decode people who refuse to communicate clearly. Your soul will become uninterested in anything that does not carry spiritual purpose. It is not that you've suddenly changed. It is that heaven cut the cord between you and old energetic patterns that can no longer exist inside your elevation timeline. Heaven is now curating your circle based on destiny, not history. The third category will be alignment signals. Numbers repeating. Names repeating. Places repeating. Specific memories resurfacing out of nowhere. Dreams that feel too real to dismiss. Timestamps appearing repeatedly. All of this is heaven syncing your consciousness into the same frequency where destiny is calling you forward. These alignment signals are not symbolic entertainment. They are spiritual GPS markers showing you where heaven is pointing you next. Archangel Michael says when these markers appear, pay attention. Don't run from the instinct. Don't hide behind doubt. Don't allow fear to override recognition. Heaven is preparing to reveal something that will make your heart recognize why someone prayed over your destiny with urgency. This next part is extremely critical. Archangel Michael says you are walking into a period where things will begin accelerating very fast. Faster than anything you experienced before. Faster than any spiritual cycle you lived in previously, faster than any breakthrough you hoped for in the past. The reason is because heaven is not building from scratch anymore. Heaven is building from foundation that has already been purified. You are not repeating cycles this time. You are entering fulfillment. And heaven is not giving you another chance. Energy heaven is giving you. This is the chapter where timing finally aligns without resistance energy. You will start noticing that conversations begin leading into new directions that carry potential. You will start noticing that opportunities begin approaching you without force. You will start noticing that people with genuine intention begin entering your space without manipulation. You will start noticing that alignment begins unfolding without confusion. All of this is because heaven is preparing your timeline for a major reveal connected to the person whose prayer activated all of this. You may not know their identity yet fully, but heaven knows exactly who they are, and heaven is preparing the moment where they reappear, return, or connect with you at the exact moment your energy is ready to recognize them without fear. Archangel Michael says you are about to experience a wave of emotional clarity. The deepest clarity you ever had. You will not have to guess anymore. You will not have to question your own intuition anymore. You will not have to overthink whether someone's energy is pure or not. The same heaven that blocked you from the ones who were wrong is now preparing to guide you toward the one whose intention for you is pure enough that their prayer moved the spiritual world into immediate activation for you. That level of purity is rare, and heaven does not let rare souls go ignored. This is why it feels like something huge is building around you. This is why it feels like the atmosphere is getting heavier with purpose. This is why it feels like your story is no longer in waiting mode but entering rising mode. You have entered the season where heaven's movement is louder than your fear. You have entered the season where destiny is louder than your trauma. You have entered the season where divine timing is louder than doubt. Things are not slowing down anymore. They will escalate now. They will intensify. They will align rapidly. And the reason you feel emotional pressure right now is because pressure always rises right before breakthrough becomes visible. Heaven is finishing the last layer of preparation so manifestation can enter with stability, not chaos. This next season will reward every private battle you fought silently. Every moment you held your heart together when life was trying to break it apart. Every night you questioned your path but still moved forward with faith, and every moment your soul whispered hope even when your mind banged to give up. Heaven counted all of that. Heaven documented all of that. Heaven never forgot the weight you carried. And heaven never forgot the strength you held on to even when you were tired. Now heaven is returning everything you were denied, delayed, betrayed, abandoned, overlooked, and underestimated for. Part 6 is where Archangel Michael will reveal the 1KUY result that the prayer spoken over you is about to produce next and what heaven is preparing to deliver to your doorstep emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Share this video, comment under this video, and subscribe because the next part will reveal the most powerful turning point of this entire message. My beloved child, before this part begins, Archangel Michael says slow your breathing again because this is the part where everything begins converging at one single focal point of destiny. Up until now you were being prepared, positioned, aligned, and internally recalibrated so that you do not sabotage the blessing that is approaching. But part 6 is the part where heaven begins showing you the result of that prayer that triggered this moment in your life. This part carries impact. This part carries direction. This part carries outcome. This part carries the emotional turning point that heaven wants your spirit to absorb fully, without rushing through it, without ignoring it, without minimizing the powerful reality that is now unfolding for you. Archangel Michael says the single biggest result that this prayer activated is this. Heaven is removing every block on your life that was preventing your next chapter from arriving. You have lived years where blessings came close to you but felt like they always slipped through your hands at the last second. Every time you thought you were finally entering your breakthrough season, something interfered. Someone interfered. Dove interfered. Distraction interfered. Delay interfered. Fear interfered. Emotional residue interfered. Past wounds interfered. All of that belonged to your old timeline because your old emotional field could not hold what heaven wanted to deliver to you. But now that someone prayed for your protection, clarity, healing, and divine realignment, the spiritual blocks that once stopped manifestation from landing into your physical world are now dissolving. Archangel Michael says this next result is going to be visible in the way you begin attracting alignment naturally. The universe is preparing to bring you into conversations, connections, decisions, directions, and environments where things finally make sense emotionally. Because heaven has decided you are not supposed to figure everything out alone anymore. Heaven is placing someone in your reality who will not just be a passenger in your story but a co-architect for your next chapter. This is not someone you chase. This is someone you align with. This is not someone you need to emotionally convince. This is someone who arrives already emotionally aware. This is not someone who needs proof of your worth. This is someone who already sees your worth. Archangel Michael says when this person reappears or appears, your spirit will recognize them instantly. Recognition will not be logical. Recognition will be energetic. Recognition will not require explanation. Recognition will be automatic. You will simply know. Because heaven is restoring your ability to feel alignment without doubt corrupting it. This is why heaven had to rebuild your emotional code through purification before this moment arrived. If heaven dropped this blessing into your old emotional state, you would have felt unworthy and rejected it. If heaven released this season when you were still holding on to past emotional pain, you would have mistrusted it and pushed it away. But heaven waited until your spirit was capable of receiving without fear. This next chapter is not about fighting for your place in someone's life. This next chapter is about receiving the place heaven already prepared for you. Archangel Michael says you are entering a timeline where you finally meet the version of life that matches the depth of your soul. No more begging for people to treat you right. No more giving explanations for basic respect. No more shrinking yourself to be digestible. No more assuming love before even receiving love. Archangel Michael says your story is now entering the part where the blessing becomes visible to human eyes. And you will remember this moment because this is the part where everything you carried finally begins making sense. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was pointless. Everything was preparation for alignment. Part 7 will reveal the first physical manifestation sign that will enter your life before this soul connection becomes known in your reality. Share this video, comment under this video, and subscribe because the next part will reveal how fast the shift will show up in your world and what exactly you will see first when this prayer begins manifesting physically. My beloved child, now your timeline reaches the part where heaven begins preparing you for the first physical confirmation that everything happening behind the scenes is not imagination, not emotional projection, and not a mere spiritual concept. Archangel Michael says this part is where your inner knowing and the physical world begin matching each other. You are about to witness something in real life that proves this shift is not symbolic, it is active. The prayer spoken over your name did not just stir the spiritual realm, it rearranged the way your reality is about to respond to you next. And the first manifestation sign is something that will come so unexpectedly you will freeze emotionally for a moment because your intuition will immediately recognize that what you are seeing is not random. It is alignment. The very first physical sign heaven is sending you will arrive through communication. This will not be forced. This will not be manipulated. This will not be something you chase. This communication will come to you. Someone will reach out. A conversation will reopen. A message will show up. A door of dialogue will be unlocked. This will be the moment where heaven begins opening the pathway for destiny connection to step into the physical dimension. And when this happens, you will not overthink it the way you used to. You will not panic like before. You will simply know this message was spiritually scheduled, not logically random. Life will send you a very specific form of communication that enters your path suddenly and naturally, and the timing will shock you. It will come right when your inner atmosphere is quiet enough to receive without fear blocking it. This first message will carry emotional softness. It will not trigger anxiety, you will not feel chaotic. It will feel like a gentle energetic knock at your heart space. Heaven is preparing this because communication is the bridge between realms. Communication is how unseen realities step into seen form. Communication is how souls reconnect. Communication is how destiny re-enters alignment. There is another detail Archangel Michael is revealing now. The reason communication is the first sign is because heaven wants your emotional body to feel what safe energy feels like again before your reality upgrades further. In the past, your nervous system was conditioned to expect emotional chaos when someone reappeared. You were trained to defend yourself before the conversation even started. You were trained to expect hidden motives. You were trained to wait for disappointment, but this next communication will not feel like anything from your old cycles. It will feel like truth is entering your life without force. You will feel beastful, it will feel grounded. This is why heaven took you through internal clearing first. Because if this type of alignment entered your life before your emotional patterns were healed, you would have rejected it, doubted it, distrusted it, or questioned it until it collapsed. But now, because the prayer purified your emotional field, you are ready to receive without contamination from past wounds. The universe is preparing you step by step. And communication is step number 1. You will feel an invisible push toward a specific moment of contact. You will feel your intuition nod you toward a certain person or situation. You will feel your soul preparing for something to break open. There will be a day, a moment, a sudden pause in time where you will feel the atmosphere change. You will feel like reality is holding its breath. And then suddenly something arrives into your world that confirms this message: a text, a call, a friend passing a message, a social media interaction, a sign that a connection is realigning. When that moment arrives, Archangel Michael says you must not overreact. You must not overwhelm your own heart. You must not fear losing before receiving. You must not let your mind run ahead of what heaven is unfolding slowly and methodically with purpose. Heaven is testing your emotional maturity through the way you receive this first sign. The way you respond will determine how much more heaven releases next. This first physical manifestation sign is not just communication, it is recognition. Someone will see you the way heaven intended you to be seen. Someone will hear you the way heaven intended you to be heard. Someone will approach you the way heaven intended you to be received. And you will feel the difference instantly. Now Archangel Michael says something extremely important. Once this first sign happens, the pace of manifestation will increase rapidly. Because communication is the ignition point. After communication, the universe will begin drowning you in synchronicities faster than before. You will begin noticing alignments speed up. People with wrong energy will exit faster. People with right intention will enter easier. Circumstances will open smoother. The way forward will feel divinely lubricated by ease, not resistance. Heaven does not want this season to drain you. Heaven wants this season to lift you. You suffered long enough in cycles where you gave your heart to those who were emotionally unavailable. You poured love into people who were incapable of receiving it. You held on to souls who held on to their fears more than they held on to you. You carried connection on your shoulders because nobody knew how to carry you back. Heaven saw that. Heaven calculated that. Heaven decided your next chapter needed a different emotional foundation. That is why this prayer triggered your season shift. This prayer did what your pain could not do. It opened destiny from a higher plane that transcended your exhaustion, your timelines, your confusion, your disappointment, and your silence. And that is why the universe is about to send you a sign so undeniably aligned that every doubt inside you collapses. And this is just the beginning of physical shifts. Part 8 will reveal what happens after the first communication sign appears and how the manifestation begins building into something bigger than you expect right now. Stay till the end. My beloved child, this is the part where destiny begins building a structure around the shift that has already started forming around your life. Archangel Michael says now that communication is the first physical sign. The next stage is the emotional and spiritual architecture forming behind that communication. This is the moment where heaven begins shaping the new storyline around you and starts revealing the deeper layers behind why someone prayed for you in the first place. Heaven wants you to understand something extremely powerful right now. What is coming next is not just a message, not just contact, not just a symbolic gesture. It is the beginning of a long-term divine unfolding that heaven prepared before you even entered your difficult seasons. Everything you survived shaped your capacity to hold this next expansion without collapsing under pressure. The communication was step 1. Now comes the activation. Archangel Michael says once the first communication arrives, 3 things will begin happening simultaneously in your storyline, and they will continue increasing in strength. The first is inner confirmation. Your body will react differently this time. You will not be confused. You will not be uncertain. You will not be overwhelmed with fear. Your spirit will feel an immediate pull forward with calmness that your logical mind cannot explain. It will feel like your soul suddenly recognizes that this moment is not a coincidence but the start of a path that was always meant to reopen at the right time. This calm recognition is the first internal confirmation that heaven is telling you. This is alignment, not repetition. The second thing that will happen is reality acceleration. You will notice that small things begin happening faster than before. Decisions that were stuck will suddenly move. Delays that felt immovable will suddenly unblock. Opportunities that seemed distant will suddenly appear within reach. Conversations that used to drain your energy will fall apart, while new conversations with purpose will begin forming without force. Your timeline will not feel slow anymore. It will feel like heaven is tightening every part of your journey and guiding you into the future without emotional resistance. The third thing that will happen is destiny attraction. You will see yourself attracting the right energies without explaining, without lowering your standards, without betting, without compromising your emotional value. This is not random. This is because your frequency has already been recoded in the spirit realm. You are shifted from survival vibration into divine alignment vibration. People will begin seeing you differently. They will respond to you differently. They will treat you differently. Because heaven changed the energetic pattern you carry within your aura. Now Archangel Michael says this next phase is not about obsession with timing. This next phase is about recognizing alignment while it is happening, because what comes next will require emotional maturity. What comes next will require spiritual patience. What comes next will require trust in the unfolding. Heaven is saying that the new season that is approaching you cannot be rushed. It needs to unfold naturally because the universe is layering each step to build something sustainable and long-term. You are not stepping into a temporary blessing. You are stepping into a future that is structured in divine stability. The person who prayed for you knew your heart deserves a connection that does not vanish after impact. They prayed for a blessing that stays, not something seasonal, not something conditional, not something based on temporary desire. They prayed for heaven to bring you a connection that anchors your spirit into emotional safety and secure purpose. And heaven accepted that specific request. This is why this moment in your journey is so important. The prayer was not about giving you a temporary relief. The prayer was about birthing a life on alignment shift. And this next part of your path requires you to become extremely intentional about what you allow into your emotional field. Because the universe is expanding your life now from the inside first and then outward. You must protect the alignment forming around you. Archangel Michael says the physical signs will not stop after the first communication. They will increase and they will begin touching your daily reality in subtle and powerful ways. You will notice certain conversations begin sounding different. You will notice the tone of certain people around you shift. You will notice your inner thoughts become more stable. You will notice that doubt begins losing grip over your instincts. You will notice that your inner voice becomes clearer and quieter at the same time. You will notice that your sensitivity to spiritual signals becomes sharper. And you will notice that your intuition begins guiding you toward specific truths without hesitation. All of this is happening because heaven is preparing the stage for what this prayer will eventually lead into. Archangel Michael says this person did not just pray that you receive help. They prayed that heaven aligns your destiny into a new path where you will no longer need to fight for your worth ever again. They prayed that heaven places you where your heart will be honored, not drained. They prayed that your name will be protected in rooms where you are absent. They prayed that your future will not be shaped by your wounds but by your divine identity. There is a moment approaching, and when it arrives, it will feel like a doorway silently unlocks inside your timeline. The type of doorway that changes the rest of your journey forward. The type of doorway where heaven is no longer preparing the blessing, heaven is now delivering it step by step visibly. And the person tied to this prayer will play a role in that doorway opening. Archangel Michael says the shift coming next will not feel chaotic. It will feel guided. It will feel smart. It will feel precise. It will feel like destiny does not need to convince you anymore because you finally understand that heaven was not trying to punish you during the silent seasons. Heaven was preparing you for a moment that would define the next decade of your life. When this communication sign appears, do not push too fast. Do not rush ahead. Do not assume outcome prematurely. Every step you take next will be guided by intentional pacing from heaven. This is not a race. This is recalibration. This is restructuring. This is redefinition. And this is rewriting of your emotional reality. Archangel Michael says you must prepare for something bigger than what you think is coming. Because this is not only about prayer. This is about divine strategy. Heaven is not just giving you comfort. Heaven is giving you elevation. Heaven is not just trying to make you feel better. Heaven is trying to move you into your divine timeline where everything that was delayed finally begins taking form. Part 9 will reveal the deeper purpose behind why heaven allowed someone to intercede for you and why you were chosen for this type of divine intervention moment. Don't ignore what comes next. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says this final moment is where realization settles inside your spirit. Someone's prayer shifted your future, and heaven is no longer allowing your destiny to remain paused. A new chapter is opening where alignment becomes your normal experience, not a rare miracle. Trust the signs that appear. Trust the calm your spirit feels. Trust the communication that arrives in divine timing. Everything you went through was preparation for this exact moment. Your purpose is entering a season of fulfillment where nothing will block you again. Your story is now moving forward permanently into divine alignment.